Alright guys, it is pizza night tonight and we are getting ready to whip up some really delicious homemade pizza. So in a previous video I showed you how to make dough. We're going to go ahead and use that dough tonight, get it all rolled out. We're going to have about 4 pizzas. So we'll do a variety of toppings and I'll even show you how to make some pizza sauce from scratch. So everything we're doing and everything we've done is from scratch so far and will be. But I want to show you this dough. It has been in the fridge for 3 days and it has just been slowly fermenting and developing that yeast flavor. So right now it is really fragrant, smells very strong, very yeasty, good dough smelling flavor going on here. So what we're going to do is, this is quite a bit and it is all risen. And I brought this up to room temperature, so it's been sitting out on the counter for about 2 hours, so it's nice and room temperature again. It's going to be workable. It should roll out really nice for us. And just like in my past videos, I've got saran wrap on the counter for easy cleanup. I'm going to sprinkle everything down with some flour. We're going to separate this out. It's going to be about 4 different pieces, and then we'll get it rolled out and into the oven. So it's going to go in the oven at 425 degrees. We're going to do something that they call a pre-bake. And the pre-bake is just going to get the crust dried out and started. Then we're going to come back and we're going to top it off with everything, pop it back in the oven until it's golden brown, and it'll be good to go and ready to eat. Very delicious, yummy. Everyone likes it. So we'll start with rolling out the dough. You just want to get some flour and sprinkle it out everywhere. And it's okay. More is probably better than less, because if you have less, then it's going to stick. And when it sticks, it's kind of a pain. We even want to get some there on the rolling pin and get that such ready. I'm sprinkling some on the dough because with my hand I'm going to punch it down, is what they call it. And basically we're just flattening it out and taking all of that extra air. So once we've got that ready, we'll set it here on the counter. Put that in the sink. And what I need to do now is I need to divide this into 4 even pieces. Let's see if I got my scraper handy. This will work. Alright, so I'm just going to do nice even cut with a scraper, and you could use a spatula for this. Even a butter knife would work. So don't worry about having special equipment. You really don't need any. I think I talked to you last time, even with the rolling pin, if you don't have one, you can take a canned good item, wrap it in saran wrap so you know it's clean, and it too would act like a rolling pin. But nonetheless, keep an eye out for them, because you see them all the time at secondhand stores and you see them at garage sales. Or perhaps even pick one up brand new. So what ways to keep the cost down, just keep an eye out for them. A lot of people don't bake anymore. Some people have them in their cabinet and they simply don't use it. Maybe even ask to borrow or ask if they no longer want it. Alright, so with this first piece of dough, I'm just going to work it in my hand so that it kind of becomes circular. I'm flattening with my thumbs, squeezing with my fingers against my palms, and just working it to a circular shape. That way it will be round pizza. Alright, once we've got it, this side is kind of tacky, so I'll flip it over. This side has been exposed to the flour, so it's no longer tacky. And that is what I want, because I don't want it to stick to my rolling pin. Now, it's not exactly easy to get that round pizza shape. But what I have found is it works fairly well if you just keep rolling in different directions and pressing it out to the side that you need it to go. Alright, we're going to flip it, stretch it out and press it down a little bit. You're going to have to really put some weight into it, really kind of manipulate it and work it the way that you want it to. The sides needs to expand out. I think we're going to end up, I guess they would probably call this a 12-inch pizza, roughly. And this one's not cooperating as much as I like. I got an off spot over here, but that's okay. It's all going to taste the same. It'll be just as delicious. No worries in flavor whatsoever. All right, getting close. All right, I don't know about round, but ready? Yes, round, not so much. You can kind of work it and loosen it up a little bit. And you can see it's real easy to handle. It doesn't stick. You're going to take your pan and simply flip it out. I have found with this dough, I don't need to grease my pan. I don't need to do any kind of prep. It doesn't stick. It'll be just fine. So I've got like this paint palette thing going on here with this missing spot. All right, I'm going to set this one aside and I'm going to start one more, and you can watch that round again and I'll speed it up for you. Otherwise, once I get one more made, I'm going to pop them both into the oven, 425 degrees, 6 minutes. That'll just be what we call the pre-bake. So this is pizza number 2. They're ready to go into the oven, but before I put them in there, I just want to give you one little tip. If you've ever got a pizza with a big air pocket, a bubble in it, it is because it was not pricked with a fork. You need to come through here and you need to prick the entire pizza crust with a fork. That will help alleviate any air pockets that might form during the baking. So it gives a place for the heat and the steam to escape from. All right, there's pizza number 2 into the oven. Here's pizza number 1 that I rolled out first. You need to prick it right before it goes into the oven, otherwise if it sits there it's going to do its little rise thing because of the yeast, and then it is going to fill in your fork holes. So real quick, all over. Alright guys, the pizza crusts are finishing up in the oven, and we're going to go ahead and start our sauce. So what I like to use is a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. This is something I can keep in the pantry, and it's very versatile for a lot of different things. I make all of my own sauces. I don't worry about what's on sale or which one we like best or which brand or what have you, and whether the store has it or not. This way I can kind of manipulate it. Manipulate it however I want, and I can make it to our liking. And it's always cost effective, because when you have basic pantry items, those prices seem to stay very consistent. So you always know what you can expect. They're really easy to stock up on, and then you have them when you want them. So 6-ounce can of tomato paste, and then I'm going to start adding some spices. So I like to keep things on hand. So I'm going to do a teaspoon of basil. Let's make it half. That looks a little heavy. So half a teaspoon of basil. We're going to go half a teaspoon of parsley. And this is just to get, different layers of flavor going. Get some depth to the flavor. Just make it interesting and flavorful. And then we do like a full teaspoon of oregano. This is going to be enough to do 4 pizzas. So in a minute here, I'm going to add some water and we're going to thin it out, and you'll see that it actually comes up with enough to do 4 pizzas. We're going to toss in a little bit of onion powder. Probably about half a teaspoon. We like garlic, so we go a little heavy on the garlic, almost a full teaspoon. Always put your salt. Salt is what brings out the flavors. I got my shaker looking like about a half teaspoon. And that's it. So this is what we've got so far. Not pretty, but it's going to come together nicely. I want about 1 1/3 cup of sauce at least. So I'm going to add in some water and just kind of blend that paste. And we're going to see, because when you are working with tomato paste, you can keep it a little bit thicker. I don't know how you like your pizza, but if you just use tomato sauce, sometimes it's kind of thin and watery and runny, and it doesn't make for great tomato sauce or great pizza sauce. So this is actually looking really pretty good. It's a little bit loose, but it's not really runny, it's not watery, so we're going to leave it go at that. All right, so just a couple minutes, very quick, very easy. Now you've got pizza sauce, and actually for 4 pizzas, we're looking at, I don't know, about $1.25 for 4 pizzas and sauce. Much more economical than a lot of pre-made sauces. All right, we're going to start out with our first pizza crust. Remember that one with the little piece missing out of it? You can see that there's no serious air pockets. It did fluff up a little bit. It's going to do some rising in the oven, but otherwise it's ready to go. So what I like to do is only a 1/3 cup of sauce. We don't like it extremely saucy. A 1/3 cup will cover this just fine. And what I do to spread that is to just take the back of the spoon and just to move it around. Okay, and this is where you can do what you like. If you like more sauce, layer it up, put it on thick. I know that we do not. So we're just going to kind of come in here with a nice little thin layer of flavor. And we're going to make sure we go out to all of those edges and get it well covered. All right, kind of make it, even it up a little bit. There we go. All right, so what are we going to do for toppings? We like pepperoni, love pepperoni. Everybody likes that, so we're going to hit it with some pepperoni. Some of us like mushroom, some of us like banana pepper, so we're going to change up each and every pizza, which is a nice thing because at home you can have everybody to dress their own or make their own. So we're going to come in here with some mozzarella cheese. Doesn't need to be too thick, but again, to your liking. And we're just going to kind of cover that lightly. This cheese is frozen, so it's kind of coming out in clumps a little bit. All right, the first one I'm going to do pepperoni and mushroom. So we'll just get this going here quickly. Next pizza after this, I think I'm going to do pepperoni and banana pepper. Then I'll do a straight pepperoni, and if I have anything left, I may just go cheese, or I might just go with the straight pepperoni because everybody likes that. Usually I do 4 pizzas because we have a leftover. We will only eat 3 tonight, but the leftover pizza will stay good in the fridge. And so then we will have that for tomorrow's lunch, or somebody will have it for a dinner. And sometimes what I like to do is if I'm making a dinner that one of us does not like, I can do pizza the night before, and that person can have the pizza leftovers instead of the dinner that they don't like. All right, that one is done. We'll bring this one on over. This one turned out really nice, really circular. So that was good to see. We're going to go again with 1/3 cup of sauce. And then this one will be pepperoni and banana pepper. Make sure you get it out there to the edges. If you wanted to, you probably could even maybe butter the edges, put a little garlic salt on it. You want to do something fancy. Another way you could go would be to do a barbecue chicken pizza, and if that's the case, you grab your favorite barbecue sauce and you use it instead of pizza sauce. So that's another good way to go. Actually uses up leftover chicken really well. All right, so then we've got the sauce on. Go with some mozzarella. Getting a little messy and carried away. All right, there we go. So this one's going to be pepperoni and banana pepper. So, how many of you guys actually make your own pizza? Have you done that before? Is that something you're thinking about doing? Please comment down below. Tell me how you like to make it. Maybe share some new ideas. Share what works for you. I will be the first to admit that, this is just from my own observing and reading and learning from other people. So definitely would like to hear what works for you, and maybe some favorite toppings that we've never thought of or haven't tried before you could share with us. So please comment down below. And if you do try the pizzas, do come back and let me know what you think. So I'm actually at a disadvantage because I only eat gluten-free. So I totally rely on what the kids have to say and what my husband has to say, and they tell me it's really good. So we run with it. All right, there we have pizza number 2. These are ready to go in the oven. I'm going to continue working through with pizza number 3 and 4 and get them ready for the oven. And then when they're all done, I'll come back and show you what they look like. All right, guys. All right, we got 2 out of the oven and 2 ready to go in. I just want to show you the finished product. We're all getting kind of hungry standing around, so we're going to start eating here in a minute. But I also want to tell you a few extra things before I let you go. So that first pizza, you see we got pepperoni and mushroom. Then we went in for the pepperoni and banana pepper, my favorite actually. But with the ingredients that I showed you, I had enough to do a half mushroom, half pepperoni, and then the last one down the way is just pepperoni. And the reason I'm pointing that out, guys, is if you think about it, 4 pizzas at a pizzeria or a restaurant, pretty expensive. I don't know what you pay in your area. But here, when we go out for pizza, it's $30 and up. We've spent up to $55 on a pizza night. So with all 4 of these made the way that we like them, and very delicious, we're only in for about $10 to $11. So the most expensive ingredient is going to be your cheese. I got 2 packs of cheese on this, about 6 cups total. It was about $5. I got a pack of pepperoni, which is that pillow pack. It was about $3. And then you've got your flour, your yeast, very minor cost, your spices, your tomato sauce, very small cost. Everything can be stored. Everything in the pantry, cheese in the freezer. So when that cheese is on sale, buy it up, stick it in the freezer, and you can have pizza night any night of the week for very little cost. So one other tip I want to show you, if you don't have pizza pans and you're making more than one, this one is actually just a cookie sheet turned upside down with foil on it. So that works really well too. Easy cleanup, it pops right in the oven, and it fits nicely on the back side of that cookie sheet. So otherwise, we're getting ready to dig in, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe. See you next time.